Hey, it's Magnus here. Can you believe it? I really am making more videos than I used to, which is kind of what you wanted. So, bonus, today has been a fantastically, brilliantly, unbelievably unproductive day. Not just for me, but for Nathan. He's gone home now. It's, past tea time. Nathan was working on the milling machine and just stuff going wrong. One thing after another. Which was awesome because that's usually the story of my life, just stuff going going wrong all the time. But I was there in sympathy because I got nothing done either. I got sidetracked by multiple projects, etc, etc, etc. Why am I excited? Because tomorrow I get a day off. Tomorrow is MX 2018. Now what MX is I have no idea what the initial stands for, but I know exhibition is in there. It's a machine show basically, so there's going to be CNC machines, probably robotics, there'll be like the water jet cutter, there'll be the company that sold me the tumbler, there'll be the company that sold me the milling machine. Like, New Zealand's a small place, so like you kind of know everyone that's there already. I don't know if I'll take the camera, to be honest. I kind of just want to get up there, see the people I want to see, sort of try and start, form some relationships with, and sort of strengthen relationships with people that I've met before, and also just meet some new people. We're using the CNC machine now. We're starting to use it more and more. So down the line, maybe we get a real proper one, like an enclosed thing instead of that sort of like half manual type thing. I'll show you a bit of what Nathan was working on today. I'll try and do some filming when he's here actually, because I keep talking about him, but like you've not really met him. But we just had problems, like because we're learning CNC. It's like, oh, we didn't expect this. Oh, we didn't expect this. What's happening here? So these are what I call the bruiser pry bar. This is a half finished prototype. Well, to be honest, I actually did the prototype a week or two ago, a couple of weeks ago, and it went really well. I think, yeah, this was it here. This was the prototype. So this was the original one. That was the one I based, I did pre-order on, sold a bunch of them, and now we're sort of fulfilling it. When you make a fixture for a prototype, typically it's different to what you do for when you do like a run of like, I don't know, 50 or something like that. We've made a bit of progress. I'll show you some footage now of what we've been doing with it sort of today and in the last few days. So yeah, it's been going okay recently, and then today's just been a bit of a train wreck. But it's always good because the way I look at it, the sooner you make mistakes, the better, because they only cost more later on. Like if we're sort of making mistakes on this machine while we're trying to do this little project, that's great. Well, because we make the mistakes now, because when else are we going to make them? Well, we make them later on when we have a more expensive machine that we need to kind of keep running and pay itself off, and so every hour of downtime is an issue. I'd rather make the mistakes now, so every time I have a mistake it's like a mini celebration of hopefully one that I won't make later on. I have been figuring out how to, I think I talked about it the other day, how to nest I'll show you. These are how the carabiners will get cut. The carabiners that are currently on Kickstarter, and this is basically the sheet here, and I'm trying to figure out the best way, or in other words the most optimal way to sort of make the most use out of the sheet here. So I'm just about to cut a couple of test pieces just to make sure that they fit on the fixture, my machinist's fixture, make sure they're all good. and then gonna get straight into cutting, not tomorrow because I'm away, but on Wednesday. So I was up at that MX show yesterday. Pretty cool, some interesting things. Perhaps talk about them soonish. So between Nathan and I both sort of learning CNC and that kind of thing, and this being our second CNC project, there's, you know, we thought we'd be done in 2 days and we'd get production of the 50 or so pry bars through. It's been a full week, all day, every day. Mostly Nathan, I've just been helping here and there. And we're finally almost there. So right now, just in the tumbler, we rather than making all 50 of them and like finding out if there's a mistake, we take and we do this for all the products, we take it right through to the finish. So there's 2 pry bars in there. Basically, if they tumble and as we expect them to tumble and they're good, tomorrow we will be starting production of the 50 bruiser pry bars on that machine, and potentially could have them done Thursday tomorrow, Friday tomorrow, could have them done by the end of the week. We'll see how it goes, and then we'll be on to sort of newer and bigger and better things. I'll show you that in a second. The other thing is, it's amazing how, I'm kind of looking around because the workshop's changed slightly. You'll see we've like put the tables up there. What we have here, have a look at this. So we've got the water jet cutter, and every hour of use of it, we have this what we call garnet. It's like a sand. I don't know if you can see it in there. Let's have a look. So that is sand, very fine sand called garnet. We go through 25 kilograms an hour. So that is, you know, we buy it a ton at a time. So 40 hours of cutting. So if you do a full week of cutting, you go through a ton of it. Now 1.5 tons will fill this whole tank. What we've got is, we've got basically a suction system going through here, balancing into this IBC tank. You know, we usually have a bag in there, and so all the sandy water gets pumped in here, it settles, and the clean water is pumped back, and that just circulates. It's like a circulating pump. The pump is from a spa, like a jacuzzi, like one of those sort of hot tub type things. And it works really well. It's amazing. We thought we'd be like ripping through them we thought every ton of garnet we'll have to chuck that pump out, the $200 pump out, and buy a new one. But it's done a few tons and it's still going strong. So, bit of a random thing that. So, basically what I'm saying here is, it's amazing to produce the sort of minimalist, clean, perfectly finished products we do. There's a lot of mess. Like I mean, look at this. We just sort of emptied it today. There's garnet and water everywhere. You can't see it too badly, but underneath the trailer there is just big piles of it. It's just messy, and the dust gets everywhere, or the sand and grit, and gets all over the floor. This tank's just horrible. So anyway, so we emptied that. So we were emptying that with the forklift in and stuff. I should have filmed it. I don't know why I didn't. So we need to put another bag in here, and then pump that garnet that's in here into there, and then that way, and then we'll change that bag out and get a fresh bag in there. That way we've got empty there. We'll keep that empty. The reason for that is, I shall show you. I was off with my machinist 3 times today. He's like 20 minutes away, so it's just like, it's been half a day of traveling there and back and multiple times. These here, these are the sort of final blanks, the final sizing for on his fixture. So he's got a particular fixture that those go onto for those carabiners before we machine them. We've got to go down to, the accuracy has got to be about 0.1, 0.2 of a millimeter on that thing. So like we're going, it's maybe even less than that, but it's very fine. For fitting on the fixture, it's got to be really fine tolerances for the sort of seeming clunkiness of this machine. Anyway, we finally got the sizing done. I had a bit of back and forth, so I've got the size. I've got like basically what we call a blueprint. We want to make sure it's going to fit, because it takes we can only do 3 carabiners an hour. It's going to be a long, slow cutting process. So as it stands, I've got to make something like 300, maybe 350 by the time the Kickstarter project ends for this carabiner. So that's why this tank has to be empty. This tank has to be empty because we are going to go through 1, 2, 3, somewhere between 3 and 4 tons in the next 2 weeks. Amazing, yeah. Like that's a ton of garnet there. So this is one of the garnet bags. That's it here, really solid sand. So that's 25 kilograms, which is just over 50 pounds for you imperialists. That doesn't sound right, imperial people. So we're gonna go. So every 40 hours, which will be. So basically we're gonna get through. Yeah. So here's an interesting way to look at it. The carabiner, the gate, and the body. We can do 3 of those per hour. We go through 1 of these per hour. So like a third of this bag of this fine sand of this garnet, a third of that goes into making 1 carabiner. Like, it's insane. It's so it's really funny. And then you've got all the machining and everything of the carabiner as well. It's just funny. So that ton there, so there's 40 of those bags in there. That ton, 40 bags times 3 is 120. So we're going to get 120 carabiners from that there. It's funny how you look at how things get manufactured. So yeah, that's a messy, lots of sand cutting process just to ultimately end up with this carabiner. So and we need to empty the tumbler now. Forgot about that. Okay, so I've just dried these, and we will take a look at them. What we're looking for here is that the sides are nice, and you know there's no lines or anything like that. The top, there's an issue there because there's scratches and things. I knew that was there though. Like, we've just not sanded the surface of the sheet yet. These are just sort of test things, sort of like final production prototypes. There's no chamfering along any of these, like, so we know we've left the chamfering because that's something we know we can do at the end. This is just to test the process, make sure that, you know, various, like, if you look on this other one, make sure that these lines are good on the front and on the sides. Make sure there's no, you kind of get from when you're machining, you get kind of like lines there. Imagine if you had a knife and you were going to cut a bit of cheese. Now imagine the knife had imperfections, like it had a big gouge in the side of it, like a hole or a mark or a little like imperfection on the side of it. When you cut the cheese, you'd have like a line running down the cheese that matched the profile of the knife. It's probably a really bad analogy, but that's what happens with machine tools. When you're machining, they're not perfect. You know, you get wear on them and things, so you get lines that run all along the outside. So we want to make sure that those have been sanded and tumbled out, which they look like they have. A little bit on the back, maybe we need to modify. But other than that, yeah, kind of cool. I think that's that done. Like I said, need to get that empty tomorrow. Gonna start water jet cutting the carabiners because, like I said, we're going to be 3 or 4 tons. It's going to be 120, 130 hours or something like that, maybe more for cutting these carabiners. So it's a lot of cutting. We're going to have to leave it running all day, every day. The good thing is that it's fairly hands-off. You know, we can just leave it and go to it every hour. Keep an eye on you know, that's the tank there, like a hopper, so it can hold 3 or 4 bags of garnet. We just got to make sure that every 2 to 3 hours it's topping up and not running out. And yeah, we're kind of getting really getting ahead. If you saw the last sort of 2-3 videos, you know, I talked about being behind on projects and stuff like that, and it's great to finally start getting ahead. Not in the clear yet, you know. I still have some big invoices to pay and kind of get caught up, and we do need to get more products out, and we do need to still make more profit on them, to be honest. Like that's just the nature of business, and this business for sure. But yeah, it's good to be getting some progress. Today is one of those days where stuff goes wrong. That noise, by the way, that's Nathan outside sanding some titanium sheet. We'll have a little look at that. It should be
I think there must be a better way to do it, but I'll just have to think about it.
I mean, we can use the sanding machine maybe. We can do warns on one side and the bruisers on the other side.
I just meaning for the sheets.
Oh yeah.
Like having seen their machine, how it works.
Yeah.
Like, we need to replicate that somehow.
Maybe we can make our own miniature sanding machine.
Yeah.
Maybe you're right. Yeah. Maybe that's what we do.
We put sheets in it and we just we sit it in it.
Yeah.
It's automated. Because if it wouldn't be anywhere near so bad if we could just turn this machine on and the sheet just slides through, and it takes.
Maybe that's what we need to do. Is we just need to make our own.
Even if it took 3 hours, like, who cares?
Yeah, it just goes in and out, and we vacuum it and whatnot.
We just buy material ahead of time and get started well ahead of time.
Yeah.
We just keep this machine rolling.
Yeah.
I don't know how we can make that.
That might be the better thing to do. I mean, we probably still need to sand parts though, If you've bought any titanium products online or stuff like that, like maybe pocket tools, anything that's got a flat area, have a look at it. Statistically, it's going to have little lines through it because not many people treat the surface of the sheet. You know, like I've got loads of pocket tools off, like pry bars, carabiners, little card pocket tools, things like that from Kickstarter and other places. And they've got these lines through it, and it kind of looks like a nice uniform pattern, but to be honest, it's usually because they've not done the surface treatment of the sheet. So, and it makes sense because that is very expensive and very slow to do. You know, like it takes a long time, a lot of labor. The sheets that the sandpaper that we use, it just rips through it. We have to use multiple for every sheet, and it's a pain in the neck, but that's just what we've got to do to sort of get the finish and stuff that we want. So anyway, so the reason we're doing that is, you know, we thought it would be a little bit of a skim, and now it's taking like 2 to 3 hours per sheet. It's so that's going wrong today. It's interesting when stuff goes wrong. So with the water jet cutter, I think I explained before. We have this balancing tank. Basically, we're filling this up today, and the end of the hose here fell off. We ended up cutting this off, so we're trying to figure out how to marry it up. We think we have to replace all this. So basically, like, I was wanting to be, you know, by now I wanted to have cut 1, 2, 3, 4, like 4 times 3. I want to have been on like cutting the 12th carabiner, the McDangle carabiner on Kickstarter. I want to be cutting that, the water jet cutter going, but today, just one of those days, and Monday was like that as well. Just stuff going wrong. You want to get going, doesn't happen. But you know, like, it is what it is. Everyone gets those days. Some days just work like a dream. Today is like the opposite of a dream. Not a nightmare, but just not very good. Progress. Went across the road to Pipeline. They sell all sorts of hoses and things like that. And so what was in there before was this sort of flexible plastic pipe, awful stuff. We were going to use this 100mm or 4-inch PVC pipe. You got to glue it in and stuff like that. I hate permanent stuff. I hate gluing things. I like to, you know, to screw things on and attach things so you can always modify and change it later, even if it costs more money and more time to do it initially. So this is silicon like tube or silicon pipe. So if you look at that, it's the best of both worlds. It's sort of like kind of the solidness and pressure resistance of the PVC pipe, but also the flexibility. Like we can just hopefully, it's hard with one hand, but we can just flip it out the tank when we go to remove this sack anyway. So yeah, fingers crossed. We're filling the IBC right now. It's got to go up a bit on the level. Then we're gonna we've got to fill this with water, and then that'll be all it sort of connected together, and the two tanks will balance each other out. So yeah, get in progress. Today I'm going to get some carabiners cut. That's the plan. I want to start making some progress. So fingers crossed. Now, the reason I'm smiling is that oh, it's bright. That is the first carabiner. We're finally into production for the McDangle carabiner. Like all that time, like today, yesterday, all just stuff going wrong. Finally into production. Like hopefully I'll get like 3 to 4 hours cutting done tonight. That will only be 12 to 15 carabiners, so we got a lot of cutting to go, but you know, finally up and running, so extremely happy about that. The time is 9 o'clock. I've just managed to do 3.5 hours of cutting. Got up and running, cutting. Gonna go and edit this video that I'm talking to you right now on. We'll start it anyway, do another hour, go home, and I think I will call it a day at that. I will of course leave you with a quote. It is by Marcus Aurelius, and he said, "Think of yourself as dead, having lived your life. Now take what's left and live it properly."